Okay, let's jump right in. Today, we're unpacking the world of clinical trials. They're absolutely essential, obviously, for getting new drugs to patients.
Absolutely vital.
But our sources are highlighting this, well, massive bottleneck. It's the cost, just astronomical cost to run these trials.
Yeah, it's a huge barrier.
Especially, it seems, for the smaller biotech companies and academic groups, too. The ones maybe driven more by the science itself.
Exactly. Not purely profit-driven, perhaps. And the traditional way, using these huge multinational contract research organizations, the CROs,
The big players.
the fees can be just, well, millions. Many millions, which is often completely out of reach if you're working with a tighter budget.
It leaves you wondering, doesn't it? How do these smaller, maybe more innovation-focused groups even navigate a system that seems built for, well, really deep pockets?
Well, and this is where it gets interesting. The market, it didn't just stay static. It adapted. People saw this gap.
Okay, so there's a solution. Our sources talk about the solution. Affordable CRO options.
That's exactly it. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation anymore. A whole segment of, let's say, smaller, leaner CROs popped up.
Leaner? How so?
They basically recognized this need, this market driven by budget constraints, and they built their business models around it. Critically, they figured out how to maintain the high quality, the regulatory standards.
Which you absolutely have to have.
Non-negotiable, but they do it at significantly lower price points.
Okay, so how? How did they actually pull that off? Let's look at the first strategy. A smaller organizational structure.
Right, it really starts there. Think about the overhead. These massive global CROs, they have thousands, tens of thousands of employees, offices everywhere.
Huge infrastructure costs.
Exactly. These smaller CROs, maybe they have, say, 50 to 75 people. Much, much leaner. And those savings, they pass them on.
So, like in staffing rates.
Precisely. We saw a comparison. A big CRO might bill out a clinical project manager at maybe $190 an hour.
Okay.
The smaller, leaner CRO, same level of expertise, same quality, but maybe $120 an hour.
Wow, that's a substantial difference just on one role. Nearly 40% less.
It adds up incredibly fast across a whole project team. It's a fundamental shift in the cost structure.
Okay, so that's structure. Where else do the savings come from? The next point is about global talent pools.
Yeah, this is another big one. It's about where your team members are based, not necessarily the trial sites yet, but the operational staff.
Like data managers, statisticians.
Exactly. Key roles like that. If you strategically base some of those team members in regions where the cost of living, and therefore salaries, are lower, you can achieve significant savings.
Even if the trial itself is running in, say, the US or Western Europe.
Especially then. You get the cost benefit from the global talent pool, but you're still running the trial to, say, FDA or EMA standards in a high-cost region. It's smart resource allocation, really.
Right, leveraging global efficiencies.
Okay.
And the third strategy sounds like it could be the most impactful financially. Strategic trial location selection.
Oh, absolutely. This one can be dramatic. It's about where the patients are, where the sites are located.
Give us an example.
Okay, oncology. Complex procedures. In the U.S., the cost per patient might run, let's say, $20,000, maybe even up to $60,000.
Per patient. Wow.
Yeah. Now, compare that to running the same trial, same protocol, same standards in certain locations in Eastern Europe. There, the cost might be more like $7,000 to $13,000 per patient.
That's an enormous difference. What drives that? Labor costs.
It's a mix. Labor is part of it, but it's also the whole healthcare infrastructure, site fees, insurance complexities, specialist costs. It's just a different economic environment for conducting that research.
Streamlined in some ways, maybe.
Less complex overhead, certainly, in many of those regions.
Okay, fascinating. And the final piece seems to be technology. Making smart choices there with cost-effective technology solutions.
Yes, technology is crucial in modern trials, but you don't always need the most expensive, top-of-the-line platform for every single function.
Like the electronic data capture systems,
Right.
ECRFs.
Exactly. An ECRF system is essential. You could pay upwards of $6,000 a month from a major vendor, or you could find perfectly robust, compliant, high-quality alternatives for maybe $1,500 a month.
Huge difference again.
Same idea for the electronic trial master file, the eTMF. You see prices from over $3,000 down to maybe $500 a month.
Just choosing the right tool for the job, not necessarily the biggest brand name.
Precisely. It's about fit for purpose, compliant technology, not just the highest price tag. Those savings on required software alone must be significant pressure on the larger players.
So putting it all together, we have a case study mentioned, SoftProMed's approach. How do they exemplify this?
They seem to be a good example of combining all these strategies. The lean structure, using global talent effectively, being smart about trial locations, and choosing cost-effective tech.
And the result?
The result is they can offer prices that are reportedly 30 to 40% lower than their big competitors while still delivering quality trials.
Which really brings us to the core idea, doesn't it? Balancing cost and quality.
It absolutely does. The key insight here is that the price tag isn't always a direct measure of the quality you'll get.
So it's not just about the fee.
No. You need to evaluate a CRO on their actual commitment, their track record, their team's expertise, how well they handle the regulatory side, not just how much they charge. A higher price doesn't automatically mean a better trial.
So for you listening, if you're an innovator, a researcher, maybe in a smaller company or university, what's the takeaway? It seems that this is about unlocking affordable clinical trial potential.
That's the big picture, isn't it? It's almost like, well, democratizing access to clinical development.
Making it possible for more players.
Exactly. If you have a limited budget, it doesn't automatically mean you can't run a rigorous, high-quality clinical trial anymore. These alternative strategies provide a roadmap.
It means potentially breakthrough science doesn't have to stall just because you haven't landed a massive funding round yet.
Right. It accelerates the possibility of research moving forward, which ultimately benefits everyone, patients, the healthcare system.
So maybe a final thought to leave people with. Consider the long-term impact here. If cost becomes less of a primary gatekeeper, how much faster could we see the next generation of therapies actually reaching the people who need them?